Welcome to this episode of our podcast, where we will be exploring the events that shaped the year 1907. From political turmoil to technological advancements, this year was marked by significant events that would impact the course of history. To start with, in the realm of politics, 1907 was marked by a number of important developments around the world. In the United States, President Theodore Roosevelt launched his Great White Fleet, a group of 16 battleships that sailed around the world to demonstrate American military power. This was a significant move for the U.S., which was just beginning to emerge as a major player on the world stage. In Europe, tensions were rising as the arms race continued to escalate, with major powers like Germany and Britain investing heavily in their navies. Meanwhile, in Asia, Japan and Russia were engaged in a tense standoff over control of Korea and Manchuria. This led to the Russo-Japanese War, which had been ongoing since 1904. In 1907, the two sides finally signed a peace treaty, with Japan emerging as the victor. This was a significant moment in the history of Asia, as it marked the first time that an Asian power had defeated a European power in a major conflict. In the world of science and technology, 1907 was marked by several significant breakthroughs. In physics, Albert Einstein published his paper on the theory of relativity, which revolutionized our understanding of space and time. In aviation, the Wright brothers' successful flight at Kitty Hawk had occurred a few years earlier. But in 1907, they made significant strides in improving their airplane design. This would lead to the development of practical airplanes that could be used for transportation and warfare. In the world of culture, 1907 was marked by several significant artistic and literary achievements. In France, Pablo Picasso painted his groundbreaking work Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, which would go on to become one of the most influential works of modern art. Meanwhile, in England, the Bloomsbury group of writers and artists was just beginning to form, with members including Virginia Woolf and E.M. Forster. This group would go on to have a major impact on the development of English literature and culture in the 20th century. In addition to these cultural and scientific achievements, 1907 was also a year of significant social and political upheaval. In Mexico, the dictator Porfirio Diaz was facing increasing opposition from revolutionary forces, which would eventually lead to the Mexican Revolution. Meanwhile, in Russia, the country was in the midst of a period of political unrest, with strikes and demonstrations taking place throughout the country. This would eventually culminate in the Russian Revolution of 1917. Finally, 1907 was also a year of tragedy and disaster. In March, the worst mining disaster in US history occurred in Monongah, West Virginia, killing more than 360 workers. And in October, an earthquake struck the city of Kingston, Jamaica, killing more than 1,000 people and causing widespread destruction. In conclusion, the year 1907 was marked by significant events that would impact the course of history. From political turmoil and social upheaval to scientific and cultural breakthroughs, this year represented both progress and tragedy. And while many of the issues and challenges of 1907 remain with us today, the events of this year helped to lay the groundwork for the world we live in today.